Your problems at every level of income. At $20,000 a year, your biggest problem is money. At $50,000, it's still money. At $100,000, you start wondering why it's still money. And somewhere around $500,000 a year, you discover something nobody really warns you about. Making more money doesn't remove your problems. It just gives you more expensive ones. So let's follow one person through every level of income, from barely getting by to making more money than most people will ever see. Because the problem you have at $30,000 is completely different from the problem waiting for you at $1 million. And strangely enough, some people are happier at the bottom than they are at the top. $20,000 a year. Survival. You make around $1,600 a month before taxes. At this level, money isn't something you use to build wealth. It's something you use to survive. Rent is due next week. Your phone bill is coming. The car is making a noise you don't recognize. And your bank account has $312 in it. So you do the calculation you've done 100 times. If you pay rent, then the phone bill, then groceries, you'll have $84 left, and that's assuming nothing goes wrong. But something always goes wrong. A tire blows, you get sick. Your electricity bill is higher than expected. And suddenly, a $300 problem feels like a $30,000 problem. This is the strange thing about being broke. Small problems become enormous problems because you have no financial buffer between you and disaster. You're not thinking about investing. You're not thinking about retirement. You're not thinking about optimizing your tax strategy. You're thinking about Friday. And when Friday arrives, you're thinking about next Friday. At this income level, your biggest problem isn't that you don't understand money. It's that there's simply not enough of it. So you make the obvious decision. You need to earn more. And eventually, you do. $40,000 a year, breathing room. Now you're making around $3,300 a month before taxes. For the first time, you can breathe a little. The bills still matter, but they don't terrify you quite as much. You can go to dinner without checking your bank account in the bathroom. You can replace your broken phone without destroying the next 3 months. And maybe you finally start saving. A few $100s here. A few $100s there. Then one day you look at your bank account. $5,000. You've never had $5,000 before. And something changes. For the first time, you feel safe. But then you notice something else. Your life still looks almost exactly the same. You're driving the same car, living in the same apartment, flying economy, checking prices at the supermarket, and meanwhile, the people around you seem to be moving forward. Your friend gets a new car. Someone else buys a house. Another person is posting photos from Italy. And suddenly, your problem is no longer survival. It's comparison. Because once you have enough money to stop drowning, you finally have time to look around and see how everyone else is swimming. So you tell yourself, I just need to make more. Then I'll finally feel like I'm getting somewhere. $70,000 a year, the upgrade trap. Then it happens. The promotion, the new job, the salary you've been waiting for. You're making $70,000 a year. And you remember when that number sounded enormous. So naturally, you upgrade. Not dramatically, just a little. The old apartment was fine, but this one has better light. And a gym. And it's closer to work. The old car still runs. But you've worked hard. You deserve something nicer. You start ordering food more often. You stop looking at the price of small things. $8? Whatever. $15? It's fine. $30? You make good money now. Individually, none of these decisions matter very much. Together, they consume almost every dollar of your raise. A few years ago, you made $40,000 and wondered how anyone could possibly struggle on $70,000. Now you know, because your income went up. But your definition of normal went up with it. You don't feel rich, you just have nicer bills. And now there's another problem. You have more to lose. The apartment, the car payment, the lifestyle. You can't just quit your job anymore. Too many things depend on the next paycheck arriving, so you start chasing the next number. $100,000. 6 figures. That's the number. Surely, that's where everything changes. $100,000 a year. Why don't I feel rich? Then, one day, you get there. $100,000 a year. 6 figures. You did it. The number that once represented success is now printed on your employment contract. And for about 3 months, you feel incredible. Then, life becomes normal again. Your take-home pay is less impressive than the headline number. Taxes take their share. Housing takes another. Then insurance, the car, subscriptions, travel, restaurants. The lifestyle that slowly built itself around your income. You make more money than you ever imagined. And yet, you still think about money all the time. Except now the questions are different. Should we buy a house? Are we saving enough? Should I be investing more? How much do we need for retirement? Why does everyone else earning what I earn seem richer than me? At $20,000, you worried about making it through the month. At $100,000, you worry about whether you're doing enough with the money you have. Your problem is no longer scarcity. It's optimization. Every dollar suddenly has 10 possible destinations. The mortgage, the retirement account, the stock market, the emergency fund, the vacation, the children's future, and every choice feels like you're sacrificing something else. Then you look at someone making $250,000 a year, and you think, that must be different. At that level, you wouldn't have to worry about money anymore, right? $250,000 a year, the golden handcuffs. At $250,000 a year, life is objectively comfortable. You live in a nice home. You drive a nice car. You take nice vacations. A restaurant bill doesn't scare you. An unexpected repair is annoying, not catastrophic. From the outside, you've won. But something interesting has happened. Your life has become expensive. Very expensive. The house isn't just a house. It's a mortgage, property taxes, insurance, maintenance. The kids don't just go to school. There are activities, trips, tutors, maybe private school. Your family has built an entire ecosystem around your income. And that creates a new problem. You can't stop. The job you once dreamed of quitting now pays for everything you've built. Maybe you hate Monday mornings. Maybe you're exhausted. Maybe you haven't had a real week off in 2 years. But walking away from a $250,000 income is psychologically much harder than walking away from $40,000. Because what if you never get it back? So you stay. One more year, then another. Your income has given you almost everything you wanted, except the freedom to risk losing it. These are the golden handcuffs. And the strange thing is, from the outside, they look exactly like success. $500,000 a year. Time becomes the problem. At $500,000 a year, money begins solving almost every ordinary problem. You don't clean the house. Someone does that. You don't spend Saturday fixing something that's broken. You pay someone. You can buy the convenient flight, the better hotel, the faster option. Money starts buying back your time, which is useful because you don't have any. People rarely pay someone $500,000 a year because their job is easy. Your phone is always on. People need decisions. Problems find you. Responsibility follows you home. And slowly, you realize something. You can afford almost anything, except a Tuesday afternoon with absolutely nowhere to be. At lower incomes, you trade time to get money. At this level, you start desperately using money to get your time back. The bigger house doesn't excite you as much anymore. The nicer car barely registers. What starts to feel luxurious is an empty calendar, a quiet phone, a morning where nobody needs anything from you. You spent years trying to become valuable enough that everyone wanted your time. Now, your biggest problem is getting it back. Dreisch, $1 million a year. Who can you trust? Then you reach a level that once seemed impossible. $1 million a year, more than $80,000 every month before taxes. You can afford the house, the cars, the holidays, the restaurants, the experiences. The things you once dreamed about have become ordinary. But your problems haven't disappeared. They've just become harder to talk about because nobody wants to hear a millionaire complain. And now, every relationship becomes slightly more complicated. A friend has a business idea. A relative needs help. Someone wants an investment. Someone needs a loan. Someone assumes you'll pay. And maybe you want to help. But where does helping end and dependency begin? Then there are the new people you meet. Do they actually like you?
Or do they like what being around you gives them access to?
At $20,000, your problem was having no money.
At $1 million a year, your problem is figuring out where money belongs in your relationships.
You start hiding things.
You stop mentioning what things cost.
You become vague about your income. You quietly learn that the easiest way to enjoy wealth
is sometimes making sure nobody knows you have it.
And then comes the final realization, the one that no income level can protect you from. The problem. Money can't solve. Imagine you keep climbing. 2 million, 5 million, 10 million a year. At some point, almost every problem that can be solved by writing a check is gone. And that's when the problems that can't be solved with money become impossible to ignore.
Your health, your relationships,
Your children, your sense of purpose,
the time you have left.
Money can buy you the best mattress in the world.
It can't make you sleep.
It can buy you a private jet. It can't give you somewhere meaningful to go.
It can give you enough money to never work again.
It can't tell you what to do on Monday morning.
And maybe that's the strange truth about income.
Every level solves something,
but every solution reveals the next problem.
At $20,000, you want security. At $40,000, you want progress. At $70,000, you want status. At $100,000, you want certainty.
At $250,000, you want freedom. At $500,000, you want time.
At $1 million,
you may simply want people you can trust.
And at the very top, you start wanting the same things money was supposed to help you find in the first place.
Peace,
Freedom,
time,
people you love,
and a life that actually feels like yours.
So maybe the goal isn't to reach an income level where you have no problems. That level doesn't exist. The goal is to make sure that while you're solving the problems money can solve, you don't accidentally create problems that money can't.
Because your income can keep going up forever, but your time only goes in one direction.